Why bother? We're not doing this for a laugh. You know, this is how we make our daily bread. And if we don't bother about making it well, nobody's going to want to eat it, are they? Bother is the HebTroCo ethos. It's a bit funny, a bit shouty, it's adventurous. Ultimately, it's about really good quality. Quality words, images, quality clothes.
Quality survives, and that's what we've always come back to at HebTroCo.
I like to think of it as a big fat Sunday supplement for HebTroCo buyers.
Like a lot of things that we've done, Bother was a bit of an accident. There was an opportunity. Gary became available as an editor and he asked,
"Oh yeah, why don't you make a magazine for us?" And I said, "Oh yeah, that'd be good," thinking they were joking. And they said, no, make a magazine for us.
You find somebody that does a thing well, and you show them a thing and say, can we do something a bit like that? That's how we made our first trousers.
We love physical media. You know, it is a thing, it's a cool thing, it looks nice. It's something there that will last for a little bit longer than the dying light in a blue screen.
You pick up a magazine, cross your legs, start reading it. Whoa, that's it. You look clever.
So after we'd done a few issues, I thought it would be great to go out and make contact with some of the people that were contributing to the magazine, go and see them and see what they've got to say and see how similar their story might be to the HebTroCo story.
Cool.
The first person that we went to see was Ashley Clark, and he's a very skilled leather worker based down in Lincolnshire. And he'd made some leather goods for us, so we went to talk to him about what makes him tick, what's his ethos.
If you enjoy making things and that's what lights you up, then no place in working for someone else. I make leather goods and falconry equipment. So I started out making falconry equipment. Once I started doing that, people were asking me more and more for leather goods, so added that to the range, really. So I do both now. I've flown birds of prey since I was probably about 11. And I started making falconry equipment, and I eventually just got into making gloves. It's quite a complex item. You can make them bespoke, you can do all different colours, different coloured leathers, and it's just a really nice thing to make. I sold them all over the world, made them for quite a lot of people who I can't name, so yeah.
That's fine.
My favourite product is bags. It's going to last a long time, it's going to have a lot of story. It's just a really useful product. Some people use them fly fishing, some people use them in the office, and some people, you know, travel the world with them. It's making things that last and that capture story, really, and I think bags do that. If you've got something that you fully believe in, and then you send that out into the world, that's wicked, that's what it's about. And you know, like, it's going to serve its purpose, and it's going to last, and you're just proud of it, that's the way, yeah.
It's such a buzz seeing somebody like Ashley. He's really into what he does, he loves it, you know, and that comes across in the product. And he's one guy in a unit making something meticulously, and you can translate that into a larger workshop or a factory scale, like at Yarmouth, who are making the Jack Snipe jacket for us. There's a lot of skill there, there's a lot of experience, and there's pride in the work.
The Jack Snipe was just one of many things that he's brought that I thought was awful. Awful at first look, but crikey, it's done well. I've got about 3 now, maybe 4. They're a cult item. Sell out just about every time. People love them.
I love going down to Yarmouth to see them making the Jack Snipe jackets for us, because every one of those jackets has been a winner. Everyone's been different. I'm really proud of it.
Try it on anyway, so we can see it on.
I feel like a lord. Not used to that, this kind of treatment. Feels good.
Very nice.
They're always good.
Yeah,
Everyone's
they're
been
nice.
lovely, hasn't it?
Do a dog walk.
Yeah.
It's like a catwalk, but cheaper.
Thank you, ladies.
We've been here all morning making this film, and we've had a really good laugh with everybody that's here, with the women downstairs that are making the jackets.
Morning, ladies.
Good morning, Mr. Sexy.
It's just really cool when you bother to talk to people that, you know, they're really interested. They've got pride in their work, and then they see that we take it away and we make videos and we sell it, and they can see that people love it. And it just gives a nice warm feeling. You know, I can see that they feel valued, and I feel like I'm actually doing something useful with my day of work by doing this. You know, and together we're making really great products, and we're making them in Britain. I'd seen community cutlery on Instagram that used really clever design to display just these amazing high-quality products, kitchen knives and so on. So I was hooked. I went to the shop, I met Gaz, I really liked him, I bought some stuff, just bought his story. He's doing something which is he's maintaining some goods to give them a longer lifespan. So it's quality stuff that's made to last, and he's making it last even longer. That's a perfect match.
Sharpening, it's essential for a knife. It seems an obvious thing to say, but so many people aren't doing it. If you take a bit of effort and sharpen your knife, it's going to glide through food easier, it's going to make cooking quicker, it's going to make it more enjoyable. So we tell people, be arsed, bring your knives in, we'll fettle them, and then you'll go home and you'll be glad you did. We started retailing about a year after we'd started the sharpening business. We don't stock things which were made to be used for 6 months then thrown away. We try to curate ranges which are good quality, so they were built to last, they're beautiful, and they'll do a good job. We don't really think often about why we bother, but we do think often about loving what we do. We love the freedom working for yourself allows you. We like the maintenance side. We want to help people keep their stuff going as long as they can. Now, that stuff comes down to knives, scissors, garden tools. They don't have to be expensive knives to sharpen. If you've got a knife, it's worth sharpening. We want to do our little bit to break in that cycle of you whiz it away, you get a new one, you whiz it away, you get a new one. My advice to someone looking to do something they're bothered about would be do it well, and do it for the sake of doing it. Don't expect it to make you a fortune, because whether you realise it or not, that isn't a truly sustainable reward. What you do with your life, hour to hour, is the reward. So do something you like doing and do it well, get stuck in.
I think what Gaz is doing at Community Cutlery is incredible. He's making people interested in knives in a good way, rather like we are making people interested in clothes. And it's following quality. It's following quality with the quality of the products, and it's also brilliantly moving into maintaining those products as well, which is kind of like we're doing with quality manufacture and quality materials. And also, you know, we have repair schemes where you can, you know, get your jeans patched and get things fixed up.
He embodies that spirit of doing what you love. You come out of there inspired, seeing somebody working with their hands, honing those blades, but also wishing that you could say just as beautifully what it's all about as he can.
So the action blanket, he'll probably say it was his idea, and actually the first one kind of was, but it was just a blanket with a hole in it that he needed mending. It was a lockdown product, and it transformed the business. I don't think we'd be here today without the action blanket.
We're going to visit Rebecca, who's making our action blankets. So it's a blanket with a hole in it. You can put your head through it, wear it like a poncho. But we didn't call it a poncho. We called it an action blanket because we thought it would wind people up on Facebook who would tell us it was a poncho. And it did. We're going to bring the action blanket back. It's going to be really high end and as a demonstration of the craft of weaving.
I saw your action blankets a way back, and I just said it is such a good product, and I love weaving blankets, so why not get in touch with you and see what could happen? And we came up with this design, which I think is quite striking. We wanted to focus on heritage as well as like bringing in your design aesthetic. These ones are all hand woven, which I think you had them mill woven in the past. It's all handcrafted here in my studio. It is a very sort of manual process. I've worked out I can weave maybe 3 to 4 metres a day, and I'm aiming to weave 68 metres of fabric to make the action blankets. So I haven't done the exact maths on that, but it's a fair bit of time. The yarn for this project is British wool. It's spun in Huddersfield, so pretty close. It's such an incredible fibre, which we should all be using more, really, because it's biodegradable, sustainable, it's temperature regulating, it's moisture wicking, I think it's even got antibacterial properties. Like it literally is like a super fibre. Using British wool especially is great for this project. Yeah, sometimes I walk into my studio and I do think, oh, this is a hobby that's just got out of hand. It's gotten too far now. But I'm in it, so I really like making things, and I like the flexibility, and I really enjoy working with many different brands and companies. I think it is exciting, and it's just different every day.
I love going to see production of stuff that we end up selling, to get such an appreciation about how things are made and what skills and just the technique. To see the action blanket being woven on a hand loom, it's so important that those traditional crafts are preserved so we don't lose touch with them, because it's in a craft like that with hands-on experience that just gives you an insight into the value of end product. Feeling what that blanket feels like, it's so soft. You can see with your eyes and you can feel with your hand what the quality is. And it was lovely to hear Rebecca talking about how, you get a lovely handmade woolen item like that and you're going to cherish it because it's special. You've put your money where your mouth is and you're going to look after it. You're not just going to look after it, you're going to really enjoy it for the rest of your life. So we go from Rebecca hand weaving a blanket, and then we're going to go to the more industrial level, where we go to Malaluz, who are weaving the cloth for our overshirt.
We're in a tiny village called Delft. It's not far from Oldham, but it's actually in Yorkshire. In this small village is an incredible woolen mill. So it's a vertical woolen mill. That means bales of raw, unprocessed wool come in at one end, and out of the other end comes the spun, woven, dyed and finished beautiful cloth. So, like the cloth that's made this shirt came out of this mill. We wanted to do something just with wool, but it seemed like it was prohibitively expensive. It was like where we were going to get the wool from, how far we were going to have to look. We didn't know where to get the cloth. So we went to a textile fair in Paris looking for somewhere, and we ended up finding people from the Malaluz mill, which is actually half an hour from our own unit in the county that we live in. We didn't even think that this stuff existed on our doorstep. And what we ended up with is a woolen cloth that's 100% wool. It's really hard wearing. You don't have to wash it all the time. It doesn't smell when you wear it loads. It's fabulous.
We're making fabric to last a lifetime. The materials we're working with are wool. We are woolen spinners, and we make our collection is predominantly 100% wool. There's no more sustainable products than wool. Your fabric, for example, is British. We work with a British wool board, and we can trace that back to farms. And in terms of a product, there's nothing more long-lasting, and you'll be wearing that garment for 20, 30 years to come. If we're going to offer a made-in-UK product, why not made in UK with British wool? So it's British from sheep upwards. And I think as long as the brands like yourself market it as a British product, then it's unbeatable in my mind.
The thing I love about coming to places like this is talking to the people that work in here. And I've been talking to a couple of guys that have been working in this industry for like 40 years, you know, and they're showing such enthusiasm for their craft, for their skills. And also there's an undercurrent of worry about these skills dying out. And I think that we kind of need to know more about what we're actually clothing ourselves in, you know? How do we want to fashion ourselves? Do we want to fashion ourselves in throwaway clothes that are cheap? You know, who's paying that price? Or do we want to wear stuff that's really good, that's going to make us look good and that's going to last for a long time?
This shirt actually was a kind of quite a turning point for the company. You know, this is Northern English wool, woven in a Northern English factory, made with British buttons in a British factory. A very powerful story behind that garment, which is all about everything we do, and such a great product. You know, everybody sat around looking at this shirt hanging up. It was a brilliant moment, just to have something that was so of this area and of such high quality. Brilliant to be able to bring that to market.
We put on an audio listening event in Coin, in Hebdon Bridge. I met Neil, and I noticed, well, you're wearing HebTroCo boots. And he was like, yeah, I love them. They're my like, go-to pair of boots. I like what you're doing, really interested in the way that you market your company. And I was like, oh, what do you do? And he said, oh, I've run a recording studio and a record label. And here, I've brought you some records. And he gave me this pile of records, which was fantastic. Neil gave us the soundtrack for this film. When you go to the studio and see what it's all about, you see this amazing analog gear, and you just can feel where the original music was recorded.
All the music that I've always been into has kind of been done in this way. So getting to this point now has just been a 20-year pursuit. It's a vintage analog recording studio full of recording equipment that people used back in the 60s and 70s, really. And we use it to make our own music in this specific way, which is as analog as possible. And that's it. Not 100% sort of working at any time. With analog recording, it sounds really good straight away. We often don't do more than one take of something. We get the right take, and then we work with that. We try and limit the amount of computers that are used, you know, within the whole process. And the more we do that, the better our kind of finished product is. On the label, it's all the same people pretty much making the records. The more we do it, you know, the better we get at doing it, the better we get at capturing this stuff. I wonder if there's an end point. I don't know if there is an end point, because I'm getting closer to the sound that I hear on the records, you know, that inspired me to make records. Keep trying to make better records for people to enjoy.
A common thread in this film is people who are doers, and like attracts like. And you'll see that occurring here on all different scales. So you've got someone like Neil as complete audio obsessive at ATA, and then you go to Bunty and George, who are doing a side hack after the day job, where they're digging really deep into beautiful illustration and writing about folklore and traditions of the country.
Bunty and George are storytellers, just like us. That's the connection. They, you know, go through historic folklore and bring that to a modern audience and modern interpretation through art and words.
We work really hard. We work our day jobs. We come home and we tend to get to work on the zine stuff or our illustration or George's writing. We do it, I'd say, most nights. We live and breathe it. It's our passion, so it doesn't really feel like a job. Me and my partner, we run Whack magazine.
It's just all about folklore, mythology and witchcraft, old stones, all the things that sort of interest us. We also do events. We do our Law of the Land walks with a friend of ours, Johnny Campbell.
We get together, you know, a few times a year and take people out onto the moors and tell stories from the area in which we're exploring. We met Ed on a walk, on one of our Law of the Land folklore walks. We were kind of kindred spirits and we all got on really well.
They just mentioned that they were starting up a magazine and that they wanted it to be all the sort of things that they were interested in and that the people they knew were interested in, and one of those things was folklore.
And when the magazine was launched, they wanted us to be involved and we were more than happy to do so.
Usually for each issue of Bother, I'll write something and Bunty will illustrate. And it's usually something in the realm of folklore and all the sort of associated topics.
Also responsible for the front cover of issue 4. I was very intimidated by that because it felt like quite a big responsibility. My brief was Civil Uprising, which was focused on the Peterloo Massacre. I based it on a famous painting that was done just after the uprising had happened in 1892. And so, yeah, I kind of reworked the painting and did my spin on it. It's a difficult subject matter to be tackling, but I really enjoyed it.
We bother because I think we're just compelled to. Both of us are doers. Neither of us are really people who can just sort of come home and relax all evening. Like, yeah, we both just want to be doing stuff, I think.
It is insane, frankly, but we love it. I think if we didn't have a zine and if we didn't organise guided walks and if we didn't put on festivals and we didn't, you know, throw ourselves into other publications, we'd be doing it all for ourselves anyway. We'd be going on these walks, we'd be drawing, we'd be writing, we just wouldn't have anywhere to put it.
Products.
When we started HebTroCo, every day me and Brant used to walk down this steep cobbled street to go to the post office and drop our orders off, and then we'd walk back to work. We were kind of embedded in this kind of historic location in Hebdon Bridge and in this story where we were picking up something of the history of the town. It was Trouser Town. And that's why I got into it, because it was a real adventure, and I'm still on the adventure. And you can see that Bunty and George are doing exactly the same thing. They love storytelling in pictures and words, and that's what they're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what all these people are doing.
Every pair of trousers, every garment, every magazine that we've shipped has gone through the post office, and it's done manually by the staff there. That's supporting that community hub. It's such a crucial community hub. Hebdon would be a far worse place without them.
Well, we've known Si from Cotic Bikes for a long time, from before we were doing HebTroCo, when we were involved in the bike industry.
Si has very much been looking at moving production closer and closer. So he was doing some stuff in Europe, and now he's doing smaller batch stuff in the UK, which is fantastic, because, like we found, the people that want quality will pay for quality.
And it's been amazing to see how he's kept that brand going for all that time, really in the way that he wants to do it, and how now he's making an e-bike, but he's making it really on his own terms.
Cotic, over its history, has done all sorts of things, but broadly we started out me designing the bikes and then having them made in Taiwan in small batches, and we did that for a long, long, long time. But I've always wanted to make things here. Back in 2018, we started up doing some of our model lines made in the UK, but they still had some elements of Far Eastern kind of sourcing in some of the parts of the frames. But through COVID, the supply chain got really, really hard, and we still wanted to do the e-bike. And as we moved towards doing a steel one, we're like, well, we've got the supply chain here. The frame is the very first 100% UK-made Cotic product. Working with UK manufacturers and EU manufacturers, the thing for us as a small business is that we can work in smaller batches. If we hadn't done the e-bike this way, we wouldn't have been able to do an e-bike. We wouldn't have been able to finance it. It's like the risk would have been too great. That's ultimately it. Working in the UK with our supply chain and developing our supply chain in certain sections means that this project is viable for a company our size. We're certainly making very small single digits numbers batches and almost making to order with these. I'm so stoked about it, and every time I ride it, it just puts the biggest smile on my face. So it's the hardest thing I've ever done and the thing I'm most proud of. So it's really exciting this week to be actually getting to the point where we're actually delivering the first bikes. So yeah, it's really cool. One of the absolute privileges of doing this is that for most people who buy, particularly our bikes, but any bike, if you're riding any bike, you're winning as far as I'm concerned. It's their escape, it's their adventure, it's their solitude, it's their going to the pub. It's this emotional anchor in their life. It means so much to them. And people tend to form quite long-lasting, deep bonds with their Cotics. I used to work on the railways. I've done some other jobs, here and there. It's really important, but you don't touch people's lives, and that's the really cool thing about doing this. That's the thing that's, it's the thing that keeps you going, really, I guess.
When you're doing a job that you love and you think it's useful, it's really great to see that there are other people doing that all over the place. What we really need is we need to take care of our own business, and we need to make that as good and as meaningful as possible. There are lots of people who are working in their own small, independent way, taking care of what they do, and I think probably together we are making the world a better place. HebTroCo ethos, and I know this because this is what customers tell me when I bump into them, is we love what you do, we love that you make stuff that's quality, that's made to last, we love the fact that it makes us look good, and we really like the fact that you do it sometimes with a bit of humour.
I mean, if you look around, there's no machinists here. There's a lot of people, oh, I thought you had a factory. No, we just use the best factories in Britain that we can. And it allows us to just make the best things that we can here. Everything's made here, and it's about making brilliant stuff that we're proud of, that customers are proud of owning, that's just the best quality from the best fabrics. But also, for our thousands of customers out there, they're putting on something that has a story. It's more than just a jacket or a shirt. It's a HebTroCo shirt. In a lot of ways, I think we're doing what Marks and Spencer's used to do, and what some people think Marks and Spencer's still do, but they don't. We're making brilliant stuff in Britain. There's nobody like us.
Support the independents, because the independents are going to support you to be independent in the way that you want to be. Or do one.